Here's the 10 wildest things that Manchester United players did next. Even mediocre Premier League players these days don't need to play for very long to be set up for the rest of their lives. That's how much money is in the game, but that wasn't always the case. Even the very best players at Manchester United and other top clubs all around Europe had to get secondary jobs for the longest time, and even players that have played in the 90s and the 2000s. So a lot of footballers have had to get secondary careers, and they deserve our respect for that. Let's go and look at some of the wildest things that Man United players did after retiring. Number 10, Ji-Sung Park. Everybody remembers Ji-Sung Park. Won a Champions League with Manchester United, played in a World Cup. Then after he retired, and he retired quite young as well, he went to university and studied business. Fair play to the guy for wanting to further his education, even after doing all that as a player. Now, while he was at university, he played for the university team. Can you imagine? You're just rocking up there for Salford University and you're lining up against Ji-Sung Park. Turned out for De Montfort University while he was studying there. What an absolute ledge. Number 9, Richard Eckersley. Salford-born Richard Eckersley made his debut for Manchester United in the 2009 season and was even on the bench for United during the 2009 League Cup final win. Pretty crazy, right? Well, Eckersley was retired by 26 and he moved to Devon and set up a zero-waste food shop. I had to Google what that was as well. Now, it's a grocery store where everything's in jars and people come there. Basically, he's all about being green and he's all about looking after the environment. He even said he's more passionate about the environment than he was playing football. Fair play. David Bellion. Now, you might remember Bellion that we signed from Sunderland. Bit of a strange one. Didn't really make it at Manchester United. Well, since retiring, Bellion's taken up of being a director at a football club. That's not that weird, Steve. Yes, I know it's not that weird, but this is a weird football club. This is Red Star FC in Paris, and they're a bit of an underground weird club because they're all about fashion, art, and all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine a non-league team around here that was all about art galleries and stuff? Number 7, Neil Webb. Neil Webb's probably a name that a lot of younger viewers probably don't know, but he played a lot for Manchester United between like 89 and 92 before we sold him, and in that time he won an FA Cup, he won a League Cup, and he won a European Cup Winners' Cup. Now, Webb went from delivering crosses to delivering mail, becoming a postman. How many people can say their postman has got an FA Cup Winners' medal? George Switzer, one of the lesser known names of the class of 92, but he was an integral part of that side and actually played in both legs of the final at left back. Now, Switzer clearly loved the game, and while he didn't have the career of the likes of Beckham or Giggs, his teammates in that final, he obviously had a passion for it because he only finished playing a couple of years ago, playing for the likes of Salford and for the likes of Hyde, and he supplemented that by making a living as a courier while doing so. Top lad. Number 5, John Aston Jr. His dad used to play for United. He played for United. Now, 1968, European Cup final, Wembley Stadium, Manchester United, Benfica. You've got Paddy Crerand and Bobby Charlton. You've got George Best. You've got all of these top names playing there. But who was the man of the match? It was a young Mancunian called John Aston Jr. And since retiring, John has gone on to work in a market stall where he sells pet food. Now, just think about that for a second. Imagine how much the game has evolved, because Ronaldo is the current man of the match from the Champions League final. Can you imagine him working in a market stall selling dog treats in 50 years? Not sure I can. Number 4, Fabian Barthez. Remember that mad goalkeeper that we used to have? I'm sure you do. Well, he had a pretty successful career as a footballer, and then in 2007 he retired and decided to go race cars for a living. I'm being deadly serious here. He went and competed in GT, where he used to race a Ferrari, and he's even competed in the Le Mans 24-hour race 3 times. Number 3, Cantona. Now, Cantona left Manchester United at just 31, and a lot of people thought that was far too soon, and he walked out to become an actor. Played a little bit of beach football as well, and you can see him in the Cronenberg ads. He was recently in a Western called Salvation, where he's actually pretty good in that as well. And he was in the Ken Loach directed Looking for Eric, a film basically about himself and playing as a player at Manchester United. Anyway, he's a great actor, almost as good as he was a footballer. Definitely worth checking out. But it was a bit of a left turn, wasn't it, from being a striker at Manchester United? Number 2, Dion Dublin. Now, Dion Dublin's leg break was pretty unfortunate because we signed Cantona in his absence, and then it was hard for him to get back in the team. He did have a great career playing for Coventry and Aston Villa, but he could be on this list twice because he's gone and done 2 pretty wild things since leaving Manchester United and retiring as a footballer. In 2015, he joined the BBC's team as a presenter for Homes Under the Hammer, and he also invented a percussion instrument, which is a little bit like a drum, called the dube. How wild is that? Number 1, Phil Mulrine, a promising left winger for Manchester United, and one that those footy manager heads definitely remember because he was awesome on the game. Phil Mulrine turned his back on football and became a member of the priesthood. Now, that is as far away from football as I think it's possible to get, but fair play to him and fair play to all the other lads on this list. That's 10 of the wildest things that Manchester United players have done since retiring. Do you know of any more? Get them in the comments below. There's obviously Rio's going into boxing. Good luck with that one, Rio. Anything else that you can think of like that, get it in the comments below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.